Hey everybody, welcome back to When Harry Met Board Games. Today we have another unboxing video. I'm going to be unboxing this game right here, Star Wars, the deck building game. I am a big Star Wars fan and I have owned and played different games, different board and card games that have a Star Wars intellectual property associated with it. And this game here has been a game that's been on my radar for some time. It's a deck building game. I am a big deck building fan. It is top one or two board game genres or mechanisms that vibe with me, that resonate with me. I've been looking to play this game for some time. Finally got it. Hoping to open it up, bring it to the table. This is not to be confused with the Star Wars Unlimited CCG style game that's also from Fantasy Flight Games and is a more recent product and really has lots of buzz and lots of people really going after it. This is a two-player only deck building game. It does have, I believe, one expansion. Doesn't have tons of stuff out there for it. This game is designed by Caleb Grace, who has done lots of work on the Marvel Champions line of games, and he is one of the co-designers for that line. And I'm a big fan of Marvel Champions, so I figure there's a good chance that with the theme and with the designer and with the publisher, there's a good chance I'm going to like this game. So let's just, no further ado here. You didn't come to see this video to hear me talk. Let's open up. Let's take off the shrink wrap here and see what is inside. I don't expect there to be too much stuff here other than cards. Let's see. Well, we do have these nice cubes here. They are purple, yellow. We have one white cube, maybe a round marker of sorts. Not sure what the yellow and purple indicate. They might be anything from resources that you generate in the game to glorified exhaust tokens for the cards. I'm not sure. So we have these cards here, and you can see they're kind of color coded. Okay, we've got the red cards here, which might be the Rebellion side, and these blue cards are probably the Empire. And it's not too many cards, as you can see here. And then there's this third set of cards. Not sure what this does. Different color code there. And then there's a bunch of these cards. Okay, so maybe these two here might represent starter decks. I'm not sure. Let's open it up and stop questioning, right? So, all right, so yes, we have these cards here, and it does say on the bottom here, Rebel Starter. And these cards all say Rebel Starter, so I guess this here would be a starter deck. And for those who are not too familiar with deck building games, basically each player starts the game with a starter deck, usually consisting of about 10 cards. And they are weak cards that don't do much for you. And as the game progresses, players are going to be using these weaker cards to acquire stronger cards. And little by little, their decks are going to strengthen. So we have this Rebel Trooper here. I'm guessing this is some sort of attack stat. I'm not sure. Because it is a 1v1 game where I get the impression that the goal of the game is not just to get victory points, as is in many competitive deck building games, such as the Pioneer, Dominion, and such. But I think it's more like in the spirit of a game like Star Realms, where players have health of some sort, perhaps, and they're trying to defeat their opponent. So we have this other currency, I guess, if you will, perhaps some type of influence. Wouldn't be surprised if that's what's used to acquire additional cards. And then we have this Temple Guardian unit here that doesn't have any additional stats, probably just a defender. And we have these additional cards here, and these, I guess, are base cards. Start the game with this base in play. So apparently there are bases, and perhaps players are vying for control over these bases. Again, I've never played the game. I've never even watched a playthrough or a review, which I often do before I purchase a game. But I guess with this game, again, due to the publisher, the designer, and the theme, and the genre and mechanism, I felt pretty confident that I would enjoy it. So there's that. We've got the Stormtrooper starter deck here. And let's see what we have here. So again, seems basically the counterpart to the Rebel or Rebellion deck. We've got a Stormtrooper with a similar stat line, the similar additional icon here. Don't know if that's another type of resource that's used to acquire cards. And this other unit that has no stats here. And they have their own set of bases with their own different names and such. So far, I really excited about the idea of seeing these bases in play. Start the game with the base in play, and they have additional stats here and abilities. Sometimes when you reveal abilities, when your turn begins abilities, the option to spend currency to do additional actions. So this seems really cool. It seems like these bases in particular are going to be helpful for setting the different players apart. Really cool. They have these stats again on the bottom, perhaps some type of threshold that needs to be met in order to take over those places. Okay, so that's basically what comes in those two little packs with the starter decks and their bases. But we also have these additional packs, which I gather are going to be the main decks where players are going to be acquiring cards. So usually these games have neutral cards that players will be acquiring throughout the course of the game. Not so sure how neutral these cards will be thematically. It looks like some of them are associated with one faction or another. So we've got this Headhunter here, Jawa Scavenger, Rhodian Gunslinger, Keldor Mystic. And you see that these cards usually have this number here. I'm pretty confident this would be the cost of the card. They have some stats. So here's a third stat that appears. We've seen this here, and we've seen the potential attack stat. There's this third stat right here. And then you have some printed text, which is usually some ability or another. Exile this unit to exile one card. Don't know what exile means. One card from your hand or discard pile. And basically you have some flavor text, of course, as is with these thematic games. You have the Lobot here, Bosk, Fang Fighter, Twi'lek Smuggler, or Twi'lek Smuggler. You've got this capital ship, a Sea Rock Cruiser. You got a few copies of those. You have the Dengar. You have Quarren Mercenary. You have this Hawk 290. You have this Blockade Runner. IG-88. Nebulon B Frigate. Nebulon B Frigate. Okay, you got the Londo Calrissian. Oh, I remember him. You've got Jabba's Sail Barge. You've got Jabba the Hutt. You got Y-Wing. You've got Base Malbus. You've got Snowspeeder, Duro Spy, Rebel Transport, Chirrut Imwe, Rebel Commando, X-Wing. Okay, then we've got these cards here. But we've got everybody's favorite Chewbacca. Of course, he's going to be here. You've got Jyn Erso, U-Wing, Hammerhead Corvette, Han Solo. Okay, I'm liking this. I'm liking this more and more. Cassian Andor, B-Wing, Princess Leia. You've got Mon Calamari Cruiser, the Millennium Falcon. Okay, we've got Luke Skywalker as my guy. We've got the TIE Fighter. We've got Admiral Piet. We've got the TIE Bomber again, Scout Trooper, Death Trooper, the Interceptor, Gazanti Cruiser, Moff Jerjerrod, General Veers. Okay, the ATST, Landing Craft, Director Krennic, Boba Fett, We've got the Imperial Carrier. We've got Grand Moff Tarkin, Star Destroyer, and of course, Darth Vader. That's who I was looking for. So you've got Luke Skywalker, you've got Darth Vader. Okay, that alone justifies buying this game. As I mentioned, there is one expansion box that I am aware of for this game. But I'm glad that some of the key characters show up in the base game. So this one little pack left to open up. All right, here we go. And we've got this Outer Rim Pilot. Now, as you can see on the bottom of these cards, it says Outer Rim Pilot deck. So I guess this is a separate deck of cards. It might be that this is one of those decks that are kind of like permanently available to players. Quite often, these deck building games that have shifting market cards always have these generic cards that are permanently available. Not necessarily as useful as the cards in the main deck, but you know what you can count on type of thing. So again, he has this stat of 2 for whatever this attribute is here. And when you exile him, you gain 1 of this stat here on the bottom. And it's about 10 or such of these cards for the Outer Rim Pilot. And then after that, you have these 2 basically player aids with a turn sequence, quick reference to the different symbols. So now we know that this symbol here means force. Obviously, this one meant attack, as I told you. And this here was some type of resource that I guess you would use perhaps to pay for cards. Okay, cool. And then we have this one card here, which seems like it's more gameplay relevant. One side for the Rebellion, one side for the Empire. I don't know what it does, but I'm very excited to read the rules, which is the last thing that's contained in this box. This rule book here, it's a pretty decent size, 31 pages. So I'm excited to see what this game has in store. And that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here at Harry More Games. Please comment down below and tell me if you've played Star Wars the deck building game. I'm interested in reading what you guys have to say. This is Harry saying take care, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have fun gaming. Bye-bye.